Both big to start with.
Mm-hmm. Afterwards, yeah. I mean.
Yeah. There we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. Welcome back. We now have a presentation from Rosemarie Wilson, Precious Present Moment. I'll leave you to it, Rosemarie.
Thank you very much, Rachel. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for those who are listening live and or those who will be listening to the recording. Welcome to this afternoon session, Precious Present Moment, brief guide to mindfulness. And this is not my version of, it's a classic, it's not my classic mindfulness approach. It's just rather my version of mindfulness and what I've found that helps me and helps with the women I work with, how they navigate their way through life. So today I'm going to introduce myself briefly. My name is Rosemarie Wilson. I'm a speaker, a coach, a mentor, and a facilitator. I work with women who want to thrive in what they do or take the next step in their career. I help them to bridge that gap between ambition and fulfillment, and mindfulness plays a really big part in that space and that place. So that's one of the things I do. But I also work with organizations who are committed to investing in and retaining talent while supporting a culture of diversity and inclusion, which is obviously very, very important to me. I love this quote here from Abraham Maslow. The ability to be in the present moment is a major component of mental wellness. Your ability to stay here, your ability to be now in the moment really does aid in your mental well-being. That's very, very important. Here's a definition of mindfulness so that you can start to see where I'm going with this particular session. And it's not the classic version of mindfulness. It's something I've put together that I think is really, really helpful when we're thinking about the topic of mindfulness. And it's the state of being achieved when you stay in the present, achieving a sense of peace and navigating life regardless of what's going on around and beside you. So whatever is out of your control is the ability to stay within yourself and be at peace with that. That is really the essential of what I'm going to talk about today. So first of all, if you want to embark on a culture of mindfulness for yourself, it's really important that you engage willingness. And what do I mean by willingness? I mean that mindset that says, I want to focus for myself on being mindful. I want to focus on myself, the vision of being at peace. So before mindfulness comes mindset. I think that's really important, that willingness to say, right, I am going to make this a really strong part of my life. And there's some wonderful, amazing benefits from mindfulness, and they're not obvious because you think, oh, surely that can't be true. But when you really embark on that journey of mindfulness, you experience less worry, less stress, a greater sense of resilience. The ability to bounce back is really, really important. And for the most part, you experience just a sense of more peace, more calm, and also joy. Joy comes into play as well. And for all of those pieces, there is well-being. Well-being is, as we know right now, is very important, essential. Well-being for the mind, well-being for the body, is all of it, and the soul, if you believe in that. But definitely for your mind and your body, it's really important. And I think that if we all start to celebrate mindfulness just a little bit more, a lot of the worry we experience, the worry about the future, a worry about what's not in our control, will start to take a back seat. That, for me, that's very, very important. And that's how I help the women I work with to allow them not to worry about what's coming up in the future. There's a slight delay with the slides here, so I'm just going to make sure. So I call mindfulness a little travel bag of peace. It's something I can carry with me wherever I go. And some people look at me and think, oh, you're so chilled out, you're so laid back, which is great. And they think I don't care. That's not true. I care so much. I just don't need to jump up and down and rant and rave about it. I am a calm, caring person. It is the inimitable swan. But I don't need to be the swan. I don't need to be frantically doing things behind the scenes. I just bring calm with me. I if it doesn't work, I let it go. And I wasn't always like this, but it is a practice. It's a build up. It's a journey. But first comes the willingness. Are you willing to let go of the things that don't serve you so you can be present in the here and now? So you can plan, but let go and say, what is to be will be. I cannot control everything. And that little piece of that travel bag of peace is essential wherever you go. You can take it on your journey, literally, metaphorically, when you're traveling, when you're at home, when you're at work. It's a really wonderful space to be. And obviously, if you're sitting at work with your feet up saying, oh, I'm just doing my travel bag of peace and my mindfulness, that might not go down very well with your boss. But if you embark on using that sense of mindfulness in your work, it really is helpful. So you plan, you do, but you let go of the outcome. And when you have to change the outcome or change something, then it's what it is you have to change. But in the meantime, you let go. Your environment is also essential to your state for mindfulness and well-being. It's what is it that stresses you or distracts you? What can you do to get your home and your family life? What about your friends and family? You can have a conversation with them about, I'm embarking on this new journey of mindfulness. I'm trying something out, the practice of staying here and now. And yet, if you've got children running around clambering for your attention, that might be difficult. But you can carry that with you, that the children clambering around doesn't cause you angst. It doesn't cause you anxiety. They're doing what they do. They're doing what children do. They shout. They do naughty things. They get in the cupboards. They argue. They fight. That is that. If you just allow a sense of, okay, they're going to do what they're doing, rather than allowing the situation to make you feel a feeling of angst, then you will just allow them to do what they're doing, and it won't maybe grate on you as much. But it is, I know what I'm saying, it sounds like it's unbelievable, but it is possible. You start concentrating on that state of mind and in your environment. It's really, really a wonderful place to journey to. As I said, there's a slight delay in what I'm doing here. Your mindfulness also aids your memory. So my partner's very forgetful. Well, that's not true. When he's doing things, he will concentrate on multiple things, which means he's not being mindful of that thing that he's doing. So he says, he forgets things. I'll say something to him, but because he's doing many different things, he's not focused on one thing. So when you pay attention to what you're doing, when you focus on that one thing and you do it really well and you embrace it and you remember it, it will help you to remember the experience, whatever it is, whether it's washing the dishes, putting the litter tray out, putting clothes out for tomorrow for the kids, all of it. If you concentrate on that one thing, if you just slow down and concentrate on that one thing, you will become much more efficient because your memory will aid you. I'm waiting. Are you catching up? Don't be a carbon copy. I put this in because I work with women who look at what their neighbours are doing. When I say their neighbours, their colleagues, their friends, their neighbours. They're doing what they're doing. But with this journey of mindfulness, you become so peaceful, at peace with yourself. You need to look at what everybody else is doing. You're not comparing to other people. You don't compare to impair. Really, really important, because you become so not self-centered, centered on yourself, centered on your being, centered on your now, that you don't have to look at what other people are doing. It doesn't interest you anymore. You can be quite comfortable doing yourself. So don't be a carbon copy. Focus on being mindful and taking care of what you want, what your needs are. Then you can be of service to others. Avoid that comparative. Avoid comparing yourself to other people. Setting boundaries is also really important for mindfulness, because if you're so busy worrying about people pleasing or what other people are doing, that means your attention is taken out of yourself and what's important. So that mindfulness piece means setting boundaries. Say no when you need to. You need to If it's situations or people, say no to them if you have to. If you can't, ask yourself, what's the minimum I will accept? Tell this, share with your friends and family. Again, I'm trying something out. I'm not sure what it's going to look like. This is what I'm doing. So they get used to you not doing the things that you used to do, because you're focusing on yourself and the one thing at a time. And I'm not talking about being selfish when I say focusing on yourself. I'm not talking about bringing ego into the equation. I'm just talking about centering on yourself, your well-being, and your mindfulness, so that you are stronger and able to serve those who perhaps rely on you. When you are, it's the adage of putting your mask on first, then you can help other people. That's what I mean by centering on yourself. And I call it the metaphoric headphones, that you literally have a set of headphones in so that you can start blocking out the world around you. So even when people are making noise in the other room, or they're shouting or screaming, or I don't know, there's clanging going outside, you can literally have your metaphoric headphones on so that you stop worrying about what's outside of you. And I had a joke with one of my friends recently. My mum can be quite demanding, and she can be quite impatient. And I have to say, and I looked this up, it was, I called it the la 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 land. So I literally, in my head, in order for me not to react to what she's doing, I literally say in my head, la 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 la. I sing a song. And that might sound rude, but it helps me to hold my tongue, because I can be quite feisty as well, quite opinionated, as my friend always said. Me and my mum are both opinionated. So rather than coming to that clash, I just go to that zone in my head, and I actually find that quite funny, which makes me lighter and therefore able to interact more lovingly with my mum. And that really works for me. I respond with my actions. I don't respond with words. And, that really makes a more peaceful place for me. And that's a tool, a great tool for becoming more mindful of yourself and what you're doing. And I've set this up to ask questions, and I'm not going to ask to do this now because we've got a short session, but I will post this slide on the Facebook Celebrating Spring Facebook page, so that you can work through it in your own time. There's a couple of them that I'll share with you, so that you can say, well, what is in my control? And if it's not, you just let go. Just simply let go. That's a great, wonderful attitude and place to be in. If there's nothing I can do about it, it's out of my control. And I know that there's some of that stuff going on today with the technical issues. You do what you can, but tech fails us. But, we've got to get through. We've got to get on it. Things aren't loading quite the way we want to. At the moment, I have a delay in my slides. It's okay. All I have to do is literally slow down. I have to slow down. I have to pay attention to what's going on in front of me, rather than being irate or annoyed. I have to slow down, which is nicely linked to this self-awareness. So slow down, start to tune into what's going on for you. If you feel tense and angst, slow down. Be aware of your thoughts, actions, and behaviors. How are they serving me? I know I sound like I'm talking about I'm imagining something crazy, but remember, I have been doing this for a long time. I wasn't always like this. If you'd met me 10, 20, 30 years ago, you would have said, oh my goodness, she's like a rocket, she's all over the place. And I still am sometimes. I have a great amount of energy, but sometimes I just have to slow down and check out what's going on around me, and be aware of the thoughts, actions, and behaviors that are not serving me, not aiding me to be mindful and at peace or calm, because that's what I want in my life. I want a sense of peace and calm, and I want to be able to use my energy to help and serve others. So my state of mind is super, super, super important to me. I allow my intuition to guide me. And that is one of the skills I have. When I work with the women I work with, I have a strong sense of intuition. So even when someone's not saying something to me, I can feel what's going on for them. Or they may use words that they think that's what they need. And I check in with them because I think they might be thinking or wanting to say something else. And often I ask, did you mean X or Y? And they say, how did you know that? It's a little bit spooky, but I'm just tuned into my intuition. We all have it, but I just tune into it. Let your intuition be your guide. You can also, practicalities, meditation. I'm not going to talk about meditation to any in-depth degree here, but meditation, your meditation can look like what it needs to look like for you. A lot of people say, I can't meditate, but it depends what you think meditation is. For me, meditation is just being quiet. And if my thoughts are running rampant in my head, I just let them run rampant. I don't need to try and box them in or corner them. For me, if there's days when my mind is running rampant and then I breathe and they slow down, what I need comes to me. So I let my intuition guide me. So meditation looks like what it needs to look like for you. So let your intuition be your guide, and don't think that lying down on a mat, breathing deeply is your version of meditation. If that's not for you, find your meditation that works for you. Although I will share some deep breathing exercises in a moment with you, which you can also use, but find what works for you. We spend so much time in our worry zone. You know, how much time are you spending worrying about the pandemic? How much time are you worrying about COVID? How much time are you actually spending on feeling good? What's the balance? How much time do you literally spend per day worrying about what you don't know? What's in the future? What's out of your control? Your worry zone is the space that we go to. It's a comfort zone, unfortunately, for many, although it's not comfortable, but people go to that place because they know what it is. They know what it is to catastrophize and to worry. So how much time are you spending in your worry zone? Do you like it there? Do you want to come out of it? So here's some things that will help you. The precious present moment of mindfulness. There are no worries about the future. When you find a way to bring yourself to the present moment, you're not in the future. Your mind is not thinking about today, tomorrow, what's for dinner, what's for lunch next week. It's just here and now. It's focusing on what you need to do here and now. For me, I am focused on sharing these slides with you here and now. I'm focused on giving you the best journey around mindfulness that works for your personality type. So for me, that's important. There's no worries about the future. There's no worry about when I get to the end of the slides, will I have enough time? I'm not thinking about that. I'll deal with when it comes. So there's a thing about planning, let go, and then going into acceptance. Plan a little bit. I'm not saying go through life not planning anything. You know, obviously you have to buy some food to make dinner. So you've got to plan a little bit. But if you burn it, so what? Scrape off the burn, serve it as it is. Tomorrow's a new day. So plan and let go, but be accepting of what is. And some techniques for you. So if you want some more practical steps, this is a really great space if you are someone who worries, is anxious. So the 5 senses the 5 senses technique. So 5 things you see. So if you are in a space where you're worrying about something and there's nothing you can do, use this technique, and it's a great grounding technique. 5 things you can see. So look out your window. I'm in my office, so I can look out the window. I can look in the room. I'm like, oh, there's lots of things that need clearing up here. You know, what are the 5 things you can see? And count them out. 4 things you can touch. Touch them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 things you can hear. My partner has decided to go in the shower. He hasn't quite gone in yet. I can't hear him because as I came in, I said, you're not going in the shower now. I'm just about to go live. I'm on the 2nd floor and my bathroom's not that far. So I've closed the door and he's closed the door. So hopefully you can't hear him, but he's not actually in there now. So 3 things you can hear. 2 things you can smell around you, you know, light a candle maybe, or go to the garden, smell your roses, or go outside if you live, well, everybody can go outside wherever you are. If you live in a flat, go outside. What can you smell on the flat? Oh God, the neighbors had spaghetti bolognese last night. I can smell it. Whatever. But these techniques are designed to take you out of your worry zone and into the present moment. And one thing you can taste. What can you taste? I don't know. I'm going to make bad jokes, but you know, what did you eat last? What can you taste? I won't make any bad jokes. So that's a technique, 5 senses technique for bringing you back into the moment, to help you to stop worrying. And you might say, oh, that's not going to work. That's resistance. if you set your willingness to, I want this to work, I will make it work, you're more likely to do it. And then you can practice doing the 5 senses technique. If you're into breathing and calm, lie down. If you've got a mat, slow down is the first thing. And then lie down if you've got a mat. And just that act of laying down and deep breathing, so 3 seconds in, hold it, 3 seconds out. Just the act, that act will help you to stop thinking about what you're worrying about, because again, you're doing something different than worrying about the moment. So there are 2 great techniques for you. And the third one, which is wonderful, I love my green space. I live in London. There's lots of parks around. I don't live in the countryside. So my green space is in my garden. I am fortunate. I'm blessed to have a garden. But I can also go to the park. I had quite a number of sessions this week online. I get quite tired because you're talking all the time. You're not talking. I like humans. I can't see you. I can't touch you. I can't hug you. So I have to talk to you. But that's fine. If I have a blocker, I'll just literally go and walk. I don't need to have a plan. I don't need to know where I'm going. I just walk. And I can guarantee by the time I come back to my desk and my space, things have changed. The whole perspective of life has changed. So walk and notice what you see. Come down the road from a different angle. Look up, look down, look to the side, look around you. What do you see? What do you see that you didn't notice before? All of these are designed to help you stay in the present moment and out of your worry zone, but also aid in your mindfulness. Patiently waiting for the next slide to load. For me, appreciation is absolutely essential. My version of mindfulness. It's my partner, it's my wife, it's my husband, partner to my mindfulness. It's my spouse, it's my boyfriend, it's my girlfriend, it's my child, it's my lover, whatever. It's a partner to my mindfulness. And I celebrate the good, the bad, and the ugly, because you know what? I learn from them. And you might not be able to see it in the moment. Usually if it's ugly, it's really ugly. You can't see it in that moment. But once you step out of the ugly, the good, the bad, and the ugly, there's usually something that you learn about yourself, about others. Maybe you don't see the learning, but at some point, something will click and you'll say, I got it now. I won't do that again, or I will do it again, but I'll do it this way or that way. Appreciation is so powerful when it comes to being mindful of your current situation. And I know that, again, is hard for people who are going through difficulties right now. But at some point, you will look back at this time and think, oh, it was terrible, or it was amazing because I learned X, Y, and Z, or it was terrible, but I still learned X, Y, and Z. Maybe you never see the learning, but be grateful. Gratitude for me, I have a house, I have a roof over my head, I have a home, I have a roof over my head, food. They're things I'm appreciative of. I'm not worried about, I can't go to the restaurants, I can't go to the pub, I can't do this, I can't see my friends. I'm accepting of what it is I can't do because it's out of my control. I can't do anything differently. Why would I worry about things that are out of my control? It doesn't bring me peace. And I am essentially wanting peace in my life. And that is what I look for all the time. How can I bring peace for myself and those around me? And that is an essential part of mindfulness. Create space for your mindfulness. Create space for your mindfulness. If it's important to you, create space for it. Create a routine. If it's 5 minutes in the morning, just set your alarm for that 5 minutes of peacefulness and zone, calm, love, whatever you want to call it. Start introducing new habits into your life. And you're going to hear a lot of sessions this weekend. If you're on for the whole time or you've picked a session, we're all here to share tips on well-being. You'll get nuggets of information from each person. Even if someone's not your style, just listen to them. You'll get one small thing from them that you can implement into your life. One of the things I've said to you so far will be important to you or will relate with you. So look at your habits that will really help you. Choose wisely. And, you know, if you're homeschooling and things are difficult, you know, what can you do around that? What can you do to be more at peace? What can you do to not allow the kids to annoy you or to frustrate you? What can you do to deliver that sense of peace to yourself a bit more? Can you put the metaphorical headphones on to bring a greater sense of calm for you, with regardless of what's going on? Can you just say, listen, the sound of kids arguing is amazing. I have kids. They're annoying. I love them. I have kids. It's amazing. You know, if you're at home alone and you're perhaps, I don't know, in a flat, you don't have a garden or whatever, stick your head out the window and just smell. The air smells so much better because there's not as many cars on the road. So think of habits that can help you feel more at peace, and think about your willingness to be more at peace. Choose wisely with the routines you create. Remember, your micro habits become your macro habits. Really, really important as well. So what action can you take? So I suggest that you create one thing that you will commit to for your mindfulness practice. If you don't want to call it mindfulness, call it my at peace practice. Call it my mindset practice. Call it my chill out at practice or chillax practice, whatever it is. But pick something that you know brings you, even if it's a small amount of joy, pick it and allow it to help you to stay in the present moment. I can see some stuff in the chat there. I'm just going to have a quick look. I need my glasses because I can't see. Yeah, la la la. Yeah, it's a great one, isn't it? So I shouldn't do that if I go on a slide, because it's going to slow down, isn't it? So I am one of my offers for anyone who's it is for those who are trying to balance work life with a sense of fulfillment. I'm offering a 6 weeks to mindfulness program. So if you are interested and want to get in contact with and find out more about it, 6 weeks to a mindset for mindfulness, get in touch and we can have a discussion whether you're interested or you're eligible to partake in that. If you're interested, eligible meaning you have a willingness to be more mindful. So get in touch with me at that address. But I'll also share the questions I have on the Facebook page and a couple of slides that are helpful for you. Now you're live. I'm going to finish up in a second. So start thinking about any questions you've got. You can come and join me on stage. You can ask me personal questions, not personal about me. Well, you can if you want to, but something that relates to you if you need to. So I just want to leave you with this quote. Your life requires your mindful presence in order to live it. Be here now. And Akirok is a human potential speaker. You can look her up on any given internet platform. So have a look at that and see how that lands with you. If you want to get in touch with me, these are my contact details. Again, if you are on LinkedIn, my home for social media generally is LinkedIn. That's where I post what I'm doing, post my discussions, articles. I'm writing a book as well. You can find out more about that. So if you have your phone, just grab your phone, aim your camera, click the focus button, and then your LinkedIn will open up and you'll find me if you're interested. If you don't want to do that, you can find me. It's Rosemarie Y. Wilson on LinkedIn, and or you can use the inquiry at pragmaticacoach.com. I'm happy to have a chat. I also do, which I've forgotten. I think I copied and pasted it. I got so excited to deliver the session. I also offer, I will put this here, 30-minute session. So even if you don't want to work with me, well, it's up to you. You can figure it out. But you can have a 30-minute chat with me to find out what is going on for you around the space of balancing work and life with fulfillment, ambition. How can you balance that? What can you do? Maybe there are just a couple of tweaks you can do that will make the difference. I am a very efficient coach, so I'm able to get to the heart of what's going on for you in a relatively short space of time. I've been known to work wonders in 30 minutes. So get in touch with me as well. I'll just pop the link in the chat box So you can use that to book a session in with me. Don't delay, book it in, and we can have a chat. I'm going to go over to questions now. Does anyone have any questions for me, or does anyone want to join me on stage? If you're brave enough, then you can put your camera on. If not, drop the questions in the box. And or if you want me to go back to any slide or go back to any point, I can happily go back to anything. If not, that's all good. I welcome Rachel back, so you can have a think about a chilled version of mindfulness. Yeah, a chilled version. That's me. Very chilled. Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks, Rachel.
That was great. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed that. And it was interesting how much of it sort of resonated with the stuff that I was doing earlier. So I love that. I love the different things that you brought to the same things that I'm considering.
Yeah.
My favourite piece was definitely the travel bag of peace. I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, just pack it up and take it with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's amazing, isn't it?
It is, because I mean, we were chatting earlier about the fact that, like you said, you can't always deal with everything, all the situations. You sometimes have to just go, yeah, this is how it is, and we've just got to make the best of this situation. So I really enjoyed that, because it gave me a little bit more calm than I need for today.
Yeah. Well, I've been told, because of my calming way I deliver as well, people I didn't even hear what you said. You just made me feel calmer, which I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah,
and then you stop worrying. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So I don't know whether you've got a couple of comments in Sean said very good, and Rachel, thank you, Rosemarie. So it's great that we've got some feedback now, but I will make sure this is on the event page, and it will be on my YouTube channel. And I think it's something that we need to do maybe a watch party at some point when there's more people available.
Yeah, I think it would be great to the combination of the sessions, because you can't all take in all this information, because we're sharing a lot of our knowledge and things that we've been working with that work for us.
Yeah.
But to introduce that to someone first off, they're like, oh, it's too much information. So to be able to go back and listen to it and get their notebooks out and then maybe ask questions if we have a watch party and people are on, I think that would be really, really useful, because I'm looking at all the sessions that are on this weekend, and it's just absolutely amazing. I'm so excited, but I know I can't see all of them. But everyone's going to be starving in my house today.
My husband's just been in and said, "Do you want a sandwich?" So hopefully something will appear in the not too distant future. So yeah, once again, thank you so much, and thanks for sort of bearing with us with the technical issues that we've had. But I think that's been amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic, and thank you everyone for joining us live or on any replay that you are going to listen to around the globe. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll end the session now, and we'll see you in a little while for the next session at 3 o'clock.
Wonderful. Thanks very much,
Thank
Rachel.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.